Um, I did put together a bit of a slideshow. I don't think we'll do, let's see. So this was like kind of wrapping it up, like what's next? How might you be using this moving forward? How can I help you use it moving forward? Um, we're not going to do, I don't have a good icebreaker, but um, yeah, um, I should have a good icebreaker. Okay, you know what? We'll do like a what are you excited about for spring icebreaker. I'll just start. I'm kind of excited for spring in Vermont is kind of muddy and not much fun, but I am excited for I love when you watch the trees, the buds on the trees, and it seems so slow, and then all of a sudden there's that like greenish yellow. I love that, like that halo on the trees. Um, yeah, I guess that is my favorite part. But anybody else want to weigh in? Anything you're
Uh,
excited about for spring, for warmer weather?
I'm sure you know we really don't have seasons here.
Of course, I
Um,
know.
but I would say maybe going back outside more often, like
Yes.
walking around the park, that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
and going to the beach again. Without this inconsistent cold that we got out of nowhere.
Yes, I know. The weather is unpredictable right now for sure. Cassidy, welcome. We're just doing a quick icebreaker, just like what are you excited about for spring? Just because we had a taste of it here, so it's on my mind. So anyway.
Oh, I wish it was close to spring here. We negative in last week it
Oh,
was like 15 below.
oh
So
my
we've
God.
cold snap and all of the snow is like cement and it's really not
Oh,
going there. So
okay.
I'm looking forward to the snow going away.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next season. I'm there.
Yeah.
I tried to embrace winter as much as I could. I'm ready for the next.
Yeah. As am I. All our snow melted, I guess, a week or so ago. We had some really warm temperatures. We did get like a dusting last night, but it's going to be gone pretty soon. So, but yes, thank you. Welcome.
It could be
Anybody?
worse.
What's
It could be worse. You have a
it
dust.
definitely,
I have
absolutely.
like just freezing subarctic up here.
Yeah. Well,
It's
makes
really
sense.
unseasonable, so it's
Huh.
not cool to have such cold temperatures in March. So I'm hoping that we're gonna have a quick warm up,
Oh,
a quick breakup. We call it
yeah.
breakup.
I will hope for that for you. Uh, yeah,
I'm
Jared, Colleen, any thoughts
I'm
about
looking
spring?
forward I'm just looking forward to sending my daughter outside. It's like get out of my house. Stop terrorizing the
Yes.
dog. Just get
Mm-hmm.
out, go outside,
Yes.
enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah.
My doctor said I'm low in vitamin D. I said, "Isn't
Oh,
everybody?"
yeah. At least in this part of the world, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
So, definitely looking forward to yeah, sending her outside.
Nice. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I'm gonna miss winter, I think, a little bit because now I have to go out and do outdoor projects, and I didn't get the indoor projects done, so
Yes.
kind of bittersweet. But get
Yeah.
the dog
And
outside and keep working on building a fence.
yeah. Oh, a fence. Yeah, I've noticed the dog keeps finding stuff that came from the snow. Like all her balls are now somewhere. She's found all her balls again. And yeah, anyway. All right. Well, thanks for playing my game. We're gonna just check in and think about how you might use wealth creation moving forward. Again, our principles, creating wealth, local ownership and control, and livelihoods are capitals. And this lens, this idea of how to look through this wealth creation lens, I continue to think about this. I've been doing some more work on this. Some ways that we've talked about is using it in your SEDS, supporting sectors, building partnerships, and supporting, market opportunities that could become value chains. But I actually have gone a little bit deeper on this from some preparation I'm doing for the Wealth Creation Summit. And so I wanted to just share this thinking with you. And then just talk through, how you might think about it. A NATO member that has been doing this work for a very long time, she actually kind of broadened my thinking. I mean, that's not true. I mean, she just kind of named things that were on my mind, and here they are. So the way she thinks about wealth creation is in these kind of 4 buckets. One is this regional planning and development, which naturally is kind of like the SEDS and SEDS related kinds of plans. Value chain development, we talked about. And then this organizational development and strategic planning, and then project and program evaluation. I'm going to go into each one of these and talk about like how you might think about it. So regional planning and development, like, again, we've talked about this, mapping regional assets across those 8 capitals. Doing it with partners is even more powerful, I think. Thinking about leakage, whether it's economic or some other kind of leakage, building strategies around increasing local ownership of assets. Again, we've been talking about this, but I thought this idea of putting it all in one place might be useful. Aligning planning resources and investments around real market opportunities, and formalizing relationship building. I mean, I think this is something that we always do, but I guess formalizing it in the way of understanding what the value proposition is for different folks to engage with you is just a continual strategy that I think can be really useful for planning. The value chain development, we kind of drilled down on that a lot. I mean, most of this we've already talked about. So, identifying market opportunities, mapping the value chain, again, with partners, appointing or supporting a value chain coordinator. All value chains really need some sort of coordinator who's holding all those relationships. Building pathways for participation of underrepresented groups. That's something, it's part of this, and I feel like it's the hardest part, but it's something just to be keeping in mind. Plugging leaks, again, we're trying to avoid economic and other kinds of leakage, and strengthening multiple forms of wealth. The value chain development, I think, probably is the most developed piece of the framework, really, because that's been one of the key tools. The organizational development and strategic planning. One thing that's come up for me is, EDDs are always doing SEDS, right? Which is really about what are we going to do in the region? And that doesn't preclude the need for actually a strategic plan for the organization. Like when I do strategic planning and measurement kinds of work, we talk about external goals and internal goals. External goals are kind of like the impact you want to have on your region. Internal goals are what do you need to be as an organization to accomplish all those external things. And so sometimes I think we don't think enough about this, but wealth creation can really be useful in this too. It can still be the strategic lens. You're still sort of doing a SWOT, but for your organization, right? What are the organization's strengths and opportunities, weaknesses, threats across those 8 capitals? Aligning programs to long-term outcomes around asset building. Again, I mean, that's probably intrinsic to what we're talking about, but I think it's important to name it. Prioritizing initiatives that create or grow multiple forms of wealth. Building partnerships is key to all organizational development and strategic planning, and even strengthening internal culture around collaboration and asset-based thinking. And then finally, program and project evaluation. We talk about using the 8 capitals in terms of measurement. This is kind of where this comes in, right? These are just some thoughts about how you might integrate it into evaluation, building a dashboard. I don't love dashboards, but maybe it's like some sort of outcomes, some way of capturing outcomes across those 8 forms of wealth. Measuring benefit distribution, not just totals. So not only what the benefits are, but who's getting them, right? Who's benefiting from those benefits. Evaluating systems change, not just outputs. So what are the true outcomes that are coming out of your work? And yeah, how much value stays in the region. Again, that gets sort of back to leakage, which we were talking about. So this is just my first kind of take on what these kind of 4 areas can be. It was really helpful to hear from, this is Cheryl Hills from Region 5 in Minnesota. She really like summed it up in a way that no one had done before about how she uses it. And this is, I'm going to be building on this over time, but it's just something I wanted to share with you. Any questions? Any kind of anything that's jumping out at you in terms of how you might use it? Or actually, that gets, oh, we're at our last call. That was what this slide is about. It's like how far we've come. We've done all of the stuff. So, but I really wanted to like, I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. I wanted to just talk through any thoughts you have about how you might integrate wealth creation into your work, what you might need to do at this, and what kinds of support would be useful, whether from NATO or elsewhere. And then I want to talk to, yeah, we'll do a little bit of an evaluation. And I do, yeah, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment just so I can see you. But yeah, I wanted to check in and see, again, how you might think about using this moving forward and how I can be helping you moving forward as you think about that. So, and I know I just threw a whole bunch of stuff at you. So, yeah. Anyway, anything on anybody's mind?
I'll go. So we're in the process of rewriting our SEDS now, and we had our first kickoff meeting. We're planning on a regional wealth creation working group. There's a lot of interest in that, and it was somewhat surprising that quite a few people in the room knew what that meant, and more on the value add side of things. And I know one of our EDOs that represents 2 of the 3 counties, they tried a matchmaking program in the past where they had suppliers and buyers and getting them in the same room to see, what can you buy in the region that you currently don't. And I don't know, there just seemed to be quite a bit of interest. So I'm looking forward to how that conversation continues. And, it might just be finding good worksheets and activities to get people to think critically through it. So I'm definitely going to be looking at some of the NATO
Yeah.
worksheets.
Yeah, and let me know. I mean, I may have things that aren't, I'm always kind of developing things. So if there are particular things that you're looking for, also, I guess I should mention, like, I don't do this all the time, but I'm open to it. Like an EDD from the Upper Peninsula asked me to do like a webinar for their folks. So I'm more than happy to do that too, if that's at all useful. They brought together a lot of their communities. They wanted to kind of just give a kind of an introduction to it. And so I did like, a half hour, 45-minute webinar, just the basics. I didn't do a lot of what we've done over the course of the several months, but just the high points, right? And I think it went well. And I think it was in preparation for something like that. So if that's at all useful, I'm more than happy to do that. But that's exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited that people knew what it was.
Yeah, I
The
know.
word is getting out. I'd love to hear more about that matchmaking program too. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I think they just did a pilot of it in the past, and it was very labor intensive. So they're
I bet it
exploring
was.
ways how to continue it in some fashion where it's not as,
Yeah.
manpower is not as big of an issue.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Okay, very cool. That's exciting. Thanks, Jared. Yeah, anybody else?
Well, I'm going to be we are starting to update our SEDS. We
Mhm.
are at the very beginning stages of it, and our principal planner has left or is leaving. the end of
I
the
saw
week.
the job notice. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, it falls on mine and Beth's shoulders,
Oof.
our director. So,
Yeah.
so I've never done a SEDS before. I've never been involved in it, but I
Yeah.
think that's going through this cohort has been very helpful in seeing some of the possible solutions that we have to some of the issues in the area.
Cool.
We have 5 counties that we're working with. They're all rural. They're all, mixed in with the Adirondacks. So, there's a
Yeah.
lot of housing issues and a lot of tourism things that they want to be able to do. So, my plate has gotten very, very, very full. So,
Yeah.
so I'm
Abs-
trying not to panic a little, but
yeah.
I think that a lot of the things that we've learned here are very
Mm.
helpful, and
Oh, good.
I will be reaching out probably at some point. I mean, I know that Beth is
Yeah.
very involved with NATO, so
Yeah. Yeah.
she's always out there.
Absolutely. And I'm close by, so
Yes,
I can't
exactly.
I can't visit everybody, but I can probably visit you all
Yeah,
just
we'll
because
we'll meet
you're
at the border and have dinner.
yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to help in whatever way is useful. If it's a webinar, I can probably come and do a presentation. Sorry, Jared, I am like just a couple of hours from these guys. It's a little bit harder for me to get out to Michigan, but yes. Anyway, yeah, please let me know how I can be helpful. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
appreciate it.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Colleen. Yeah, Edwin, Cassidy, any thoughts on kind of your next steps with this?
Yeah, that's definitely a question I'll have to ponder on. But like with everybody else, we're also at the beginning stages of re up or updating our sets, and we're gonna have our first committee session likely in the fall. So
Okay.
I definitely do want to include the whole topic of the wall creation into our meeting,
Yeah.
and show it to any people who end up being members of our sets, because it's kind of like weathered away for the last few years, so we're probably gonna have a lot of new
Yeah.
people.
Awesome.
And I also we really haven't started updating the document itself yet, but I have started to include some pages talking about this whole concept of wall creation with NATO,
Oh,
and probably expand it and talk about what it is according to NATO, and then tie it specifically to the information of our region. And
cool.
also I am working on a EDA grant for Southeast Volusia, where they want to uh uh how do I say, they have like some areas of manufacturing centers they want to fortify due to a lot of floodings and hurricanes that have happened, where that stalls economic development. People are not getting paid because they can't go to their jobs, are inundated with water, right?
Mhm.
um and there's actually a kind of like a little part where it talks about bringing in the supply chain aspect of the aviation industry. So I think the wall creation, everything that you had taught
Yeah,
us about the wall creation part, I think there's a tie into that. So I just gotta
great.
figure out, okay, how to put this into how to
Yeah.
apply it into all
Oh,
these
yeah.
things.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, I'm happy to help with that too. I mean, we could think about like some preliminary value chain
Yeah.
mapping just as like sometimes you need to like just have something for people to react to, even if
Hmm.
it's not quite right. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm happy to help you think through that if that's at all helpful. Um,
Yes, I'll
cool.
probably need a tip or two, so
Yeah.
that's definitely helpful.
I love problem solving, especially around this. So, yes, more than happy to engage. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Yeah, Cassidy, what's up in Alaska?
Well, we are working on a workforce development initiative here
Hmm.
on the peninsula. We have a few large pending infrastructure projects that could be on the horizon, that are very close to the horizon, and we're trying to understand what the workforce and the labor needs are around some of these
Mhm.
bigger projects, and how we can meet those needs. the state has had a continuation of out migration. So we're always trying to attract people, not just to visit here, but to kind of be able to visit here and then essentially see themselves here in our community, working and living and perhaps raising their families or just having their life here. And what we have identified as a state and as different workforce development groups is that we need people. And we need to know what it's going to take to attract the people to come here and to live here. It's a high cost of living. It's very, geographically separated from the rest of the United States, right? So it's a big leap. And what we have done is with these infrastructure projects happening, we have identified access and a clear pathway to training and certification opportunities is really important to our municipalities, to our tribes, to the people that are considering working here and those that are growing up. 50% of our high school graduates are leaving the state and they don't come back. So we want to make sure that particularly those graduates have a pathway here and they can see themselves pursuing a job pathway that's going to be viable and strong for them and keep them here, right? Like we're trying to make sure people have what they need to live here. And so with that said, we are partnering with our municipalities, one particular municipality to provide some training space and some of their buildings and workspaces. We're partnering with the Vocational Training Center in Seward to expand their services and their class offerings over on the western side of the peninsula to build out an instructional service center. We're partnering with that. We're making a coalition with the community college and the school district to make sure that the course credits and the trainings are continuous. There's no gaps. And so you can go from high school welding course, for example, and go over to KPC, to Kenai Peninsula College, and take some courses that are going to complement that welding course, and then go into AppTech, which is our vocational training center, and get a certification there. We also added a layer of having industry at the table where they take they're directly involved in taking some of their higher level employees and subject matter experts. And this is the biggest nut that I'm trying to crack right now. Is enticing them and convincing them that they can take those higher level employees that have great experience on the job training. Perhaps they want to get into the classroom and share that knowledge and that passion. Take them out of the field and put them in the classroom in AppTech for just a small sabbatical, 12 to 18 months. And then they'll be able to go back to their corporate field job. And we're trying to entice industry that's a good model. And so part of the value chain is to share with them the data points on and the data behind what it costs to onboard a new employee, what it costs to import labor, which is like $50,000 per employee per year. Instead, taking that investment and putting it into this program and sharing it with our localized workforce, hopefully kind of create just an ecosystem, right? An ecosystem of training of individuals, developing our workforce, and then having industry also at the table to share their knowledge, share their industry standards, share their work culture. They'll then be able to vet and see the employees kind of before they even bring them onboarding. Their onboarding costs are going to be decreased because they've already done some of that onboarding in the classroom. So we're
Yeah.
trying to convince everybody that this is a good idea.
That is really fascinating and kind of exciting. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
really exciting. That's super
we're,
cool.
it feels like an onion where we keep peeling back and we're to keep identifying the important
Yeah.
pieces of the onion, but um, we have a lot of support on like the government, the state, and the Department of Labor and our educators. We have a lot of support on that side. It's the industry, and this is where I think it's relevant in this conversation where we're talking about the value chain and how to
Yes.
communicate that value in a
Yeah.
way that industry or whomever is kind of the holdout,
Yeah.
like this is a great model to follow that's going to be sustainable as we go
Yeah.
forward.
Absolutely. So you're trying to convey the value proposition to the industry about if this ecosystem works the way you're assuming it will work, how it's going to impact them long term. And I think, that's the operative term, right? It's a long-term solution, and that you don't see the impacts and the outcomes immediately. So, but it's really, I mean, I wonder, and this is a longer conversation, but I wonder if there's value. Again, I think sometimes bringing everybody to the table, and I don't know if you've done that, and actually like showing, mapping it out together, the visual and like again, figuring out the gaps. It sounds like the main gap is the industry at this point. But there may be others that people can work through together, maybe more granular. I mean, that's a big gap, right? There may be more granular gaps where if they see I feel like a lot of times with value chain mapping and finding the gaps and filling them, sometimes it's the little gaps that get people like
Yeah,
seeing success on those little gaps can get people excited about the potential for the big gaps. So I wonder if there's value in bringing all the players together to map it out, identify the gaps, and start on one of those easy ones. You know what I mean? So they can see success and then say, this could work. We are working together. We've formed this collaborative and we have this common goal and we've solved this kind of still like an important gap, but maybe not as big. And then, just sometimes I feel like collaboratives need practice collaborating. So if they can collaborate around something small, then maybe they get the hang of it and realize that they can collaborate on something really big. So anyway, just a thought. And again, yeah, I'm happy that'd be super fun. I'd be happy to think about that with you, what that might look like. And, any tools that you might need for that or any, facilitation tricks or yeah.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. And maybe that is, I haven't thought about that approach, and maybe that is kind of do small wins and all of a sudden you've already kind of committed to the buy-in
Yes.
without even,
I mean,
right?
right. You
Like
almost trick, I don't want to
you
say
have to
trick
Jedi
them.
mind trick them.
You kind of like have them collaborating without really realizing it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jedi mind trick.
Kind of yes, kind of work your magic. But yeah, I mean, I really think it can. I think the power of bringing, I know in Alaska it's a little more challenging to bring people together. So, but yeah, I think the power of having people in person looking at the same thing and figuring out how the system works can be really valuable. And I've seen it time and again, that people first of all want to be together and want to learn from each other and want to understand how the system does work or could work. So yeah, I'm more than happy again to help you think through, what something like that might look like. Um, you know, even maybe even again, kind of like what I was saying to Edwin, sometimes having like just something to share with them and saying like, does it work like this? Or does it, is that, we could map out a preliminary, workforce development kind of pathway map, that people could be like, no, it doesn't really work like that. But sometimes they just need something to react to, but yeah, that would be really fun. So
Okay.
yeah,
I appreciate that, and I'm gonna I'll keep chewing on what
yeah,
maybe I'll sketch out what we've got right now and see what I think that maybe the glaring art gaps are,
yeah,
and then put your eyes on it and
absolutely.
see what your thoughts and your insight is on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'd
will do
love
that.
it. I'd
Okay.
love it. That would be so
Great.
fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, gosh, you guys are so inspiring. I'm so excited about all the ways that you're thinking about using this. I know, like, honestly, like I know we've had like what, 6 months, and it's not a ton of time, but I appreciate that you've been here and you've been engaging and really considering how you might, integrate it. I did want to do kind of a quick, um, I know you all did like a pre-assessment before we did this. I have to do a post-assessment. I apologize in advance for that. I will share a link with you. It's just because EDA is funding it and we have to, have some sort of outcome. But this is amazing. I mean, this call gives me so much to work with to share, the impact for them. But I also just wanted to have a quick kind of verbal evaluation because I am continuing this cohort. I'm going to start another one pretty soon. So I, genuinely want to know, what went well, what could have gone better. Like, were there parts that needed more time? Does the format work? Like, what else would you have liked to see? It's the first time I've done this, so and I think I told you at the beginning you were a little bit of guinea pigs, and yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and like honestly, if there are things you want to say that you don't want to say here, you can do it in that post assessment too. But I totally, you can say whatever you want. They're all anonymous, those post assessments. So yeah. Anyway, but if anything that you do want to share, or anything you would change, or anyway, I'm just babbling. I'm sorry.
I just want to say real quick, to answer your question, since this is the first time I'm learning about this,
Yeah.
I guess I don't have like any critiques or opinions, you might
Yeah.
say. I did learn a lot, especially about I just had it here. What was it? The value chain mapping. I think
Yeah.
that was really helpful in visualizing, okay, this is what we have and this is what we need and what's missing in between. And I also wanted to say to Cassidy, you pretty much described word for word the same situation we're having in the Space Coast, especially after the space shuttle program ended in NASA, like back in
Yeah.
2011. And how you described how to have like the industries kind of help train people and retain them locally. Some companies like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon have been doing that, and they collaborate with the public school board to have like high schoolers and middle schoolers to like go to like those places and like have charrettes or as they get older into high school, like have internships so they can retain, because these companies have had to seek out people either to or all the way to Orlando or even out of
Mhm.
state,
Oh, wow.
because pretty much since some areas in the Space Coast are more like older retiree areas, a lot of like the high schoolers just pretty much leave. So they're also having like that problem of retention with the younger crowds. So a lot of the things you said, I'm like, yeah, keep doing that. If you already started doing it, keep doing that. That's pretty much a lot of like the things that we've also told the city of Titusville when we did their
Mhm.
economic development plan. I'm like, oh my God, you're shaking the marks already. So like if the things that you said, some of the things you haven't done them yet, like I will definitely do it. Try it out for your region for sure.
Uh-huh. Cool.
But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Oh, thanks, Edwin. I
Of
appreciate
course.
that. And yeah, I love it. Cool.
But yes, I enjoyed the cohort overall. I'm glad I
Oh,
was able
good.
to do it.
Yeah, me too. No, we had a nice di geographically diverse and
Yeah.
kind of size diverse group, which was really nice. I don't know if I'll be able to do that again, but okay. Um, yeah,
I'll
anybody? Yeah, go
just
ahead.
insert that I really just, and I've locked into this kind of the concept of the end user, always trying to look from ahead and go back to see, what the end user is, what the consumer is, what is the
Hmm.
outcome, and then working backwards. That has helped me frame a lot of things, just, I mean, even just internal, challenges or internal things, like what's the outcome, and what does the consumer want, and then moving backwards to see what exists and what doesn't exist, and what is important, helps just really create a strategy to put some foundation together, which I thought was an amazing tool, and one that I know that I'll keep taking with me, when I approach things. So I really appreciated that.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, that's exciting. Cool. Thanks, Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything on anybody else? I don't want to belabor it. I will send you that assessment. But yeah, go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
Yeah, more of a critique on my own part,
Oh,
than the course. But for online learning, I think it's, for me at least, it would be helpful to have more stringent deadlines on the homework and maybe turning
yeah.
it in and just keeping me
Oh,
accountable in that way. I don't know if other people
yes.
feel the same, but it's so easy to
It
have this
is.
be
I
a
know.
second thought or back burner kind of thing. So,
I was too.
um,
I know, and that's partly me. I'm not sure what people's appetite is for actually like doing stuff,
mhm,
and I just don't, that's my inexperience in not knowing what people are open to and not open to. I mean, I would love, I had wanted to be more stringent, and then I felt like maybe that was too much to ask, but that's really helpful, Jared. I really appreciate that. I would like, because I would like to kind of see what you're doing along the way so I can be helpful. But at the same time, I know you're all super busy. So so I struggled with like, yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely something I struggled with. Like I really wanted to be more stringent, but then I also felt like it seemed like everybody was so busy that I didn't want to create unnecessary stress. But yeah, that is really helpful though. I can definitely try that. Should do better at that. Okay.
One thing that I think would be fun and engaging, and you wouldn't feel like you are assigning homework and having people have a deadline, is
Yeah.
doing an activity engaging on, like, during the cohort time. So
Yeah.
so
Okay.
have it be like a group project where we have a example of a value chain that we're building together, just like a
Yes.
philosophical thing,
I
and we
love
could
that.
interact with you, and you could fill it in online, fill it in on the cohort
Yeah.
time.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it would
Cool.
be hands-on, and it would be kind of the work, but not a homework assignment. But
Yeah.
I think it would be fun
Okay.
to do like a group project together where we all insert some perspectives and some kind of like insight on how we would put the pieces together and how we would approach it, and maybe learn from that.
Cool. I love that.
I mean,
Thanks,
I know that
Cassidy.
group projects are always like, but I mean, in this sense,
I
I
think
think
you
we're
could do
all
it.
have a common interest in in value chain and wealth creation. So doing a group
Yeah.
project together wouldn't add another deadline, but it would create, one
Yeah.
of our cohort's activities.
Yeah. No, I like that. Okay. That's great. Nice. Um,
I was gonna say one way to keep it going in a regionally positive way would maybe have each one of us recommend somebody, maybe from our organization or an organization nearby that might be interested in learning more about it.
hmm.
I know we have a junior planner on staff here who is extremely excited and energetic about a lot of this stuff, and I think that he would really take to it, and he's very engaged. So I think that he would,
Cool.
you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as people want to do it. So yeah, feel
So I'm going to
free.
nominate him. So don't worry about it.
I
He
love
doesn't know it, but he needs more stuff on his plate.
it. That's funny. No, yeah, it's something I know. Well, the other thing I should say is I'm in talks with the Aspen Institute Community Strategies Group to resurrect the actual in-person WealthWorks training. We used to do it back when I was working. I was working at a consulting firm. We kind of managed all of WealthWorks. And we used to have an on-site training. It was like 4 days, and then we'd have a practicum that was kind of like what we just did. It was with calls, but you would actually work through the process and actually do the work toward a real thing, you know. So we're trying to figure out how to resurrect that. Maybe not have it be such a long time in person because not everybody can go away for 4 days. I'm thinking maybe a couple days, like, because it does, again, being in person really does help you integrate things and learn from other people. So that is something that we're hoping to resurrect in the next year or so, like a little bit more in depth, and maybe still have the cohort piece be like the continuation of that. So that's something that I'm in the midst of working on with Aspen. I think they'll be the holders of that because NATO is focused on EDDs, but there's definitely an appetite for this in all sorts of other organizations. So Aspen isn't like EDD focused, or else I would suggest NATO do it. But I think we want to have it be open to anyone and everyone. So I could see, you know, a lot of foundations, community foundations are often really interested in wealth creation. I think another kind of plug for you all as you're thinking about moving your work forward, community foundations, in my experience, they get it and they're interested in it, and I've seen them support it. So I've worked with a couple of community foundations in the different parts of the country that have really funded these kinds of projects. So I don't know about the one where you all are, but can't hurt to ask. Um, the one that I've seen do it really well is the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation has a special fund. I wish I could remember it now. It's like a small fund that's really about rural economic development, and they funded two value chains, one of which I think I shared with you and I got to work on, which was a recreation one, but they also funded like a renewable energy kind of value chain in New Hampshire. So and I've seen others too. Certainly, you know, in Minnesota, I've seen some of the foundations there. So I think there's some appetite on the part of foundations to see kind of place-based development happening, you know, that supports um, folks on the margins and building wealth and keeping wealth local. So anyway, that's my plug. I'll keep you all posted on the training as I learn more, but and I'm trying to think what else I had in my slideshow. Um, yes, so we did this. I am going to send you the link to the assessment. I appreciate you doing it. Just it gives me a little bit more ammunition with EDA to say this is working, it's useful, like help us keep funding it. It will be anonymous, so say whatever you want to say. I won't be offended. Again, the continuing resources that I usually share, I know Jared, I'm going to get to see you in Bend. I'm excited. And if any of you are interested in coming to Bend, it's about a month away. The agenda is pretty much set. We have some great mobile workshops. I'm really excited about it. If you can come, great. And if not, we're starting to plan for the annual training conference in Reno. And I'm also going to be doing some wealth creation sessions there. I don't know how many of you would be interested in or were planning to come to Reno, but I was pondering the idea of because the second cohort I'm doing will be done by then. So I was considering having a like lessons from the cohorts session, if anybody would be interested in coming and sharing about that, of like kind of what you've done, what you learned and what you've done since. So just a thought, but I have some other sessions in mind too. But that was one I was like, gosh, I have all these amazing people. They have some amazing ideas. So could they share, what they've been up to? So just a thought. And that is in Reno. We're just starting to plan it right now, but I have like a lot of stuff swirling in my head and lots of ideas. So, um, and also I know there's a call for proposals out too. So if any of you want to share just anything, it doesn't even have to be wealth creation related, but anything in your own work that you'd be interested in sharing in Reno, that's, I'm pretty sure that was in NATO news. So if you did want to, you know, present something, that's a great opportunity to get the word out, meet some new people. There's some great mobile workshops there too. I'm putting together a couple that, yeah, I'm working on, but I don't know how they will, we have to get those sorted soon. But and then you know how to reach me. Um, it's kind of bittersweet. I'm gonna stop. You know how to reach me. But yeah, that's all I've got for you today. I thought we'd just check in on where you were at, what you need, and how it went. But I would love to hear from all of you. I mean, it sounds like there are ways I can be helpful all around. So please ask. That's kind of what I'm here for. So again, happy to do a webinar in your area or help you with some value chain mapping or whatever you want to, whatever I can, coaching is what I usually call it. Whatever coaching I can help provide, I'm more than happy to do it. So I love getting to apply. I get to teach a lot, but it's nice to apply things in a real place with real things. So let me know how I can help. And yeah, anyway, any last questions, thoughts, concerns?
I just want to let you know, thank you.
Oh yeah, of course.
I gained a lot from this, and I talk about this a lot with the other EDDs up here. And while I'm not going to Bend, I do know, I think there's a group of 5
There is, yeah.
Alaskans that are coming down to visit you.
Mhm.
So tell them hi. They're very
I
interested
will.
in this. And I know that we'll be discussing this as the larger group as we move forward. So I don't think that this is not the end. I think that this is the beginning for Alaska in terms of how we look at economic development and creating these relationships and our networks. So
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, there is a nice contingent from Alaska coming to Bend. I'm excited and that's great. Yeah. I can if I can always definitely I would yeah, I'm actually open to coming to any of your places. If we can find, if I can I'm working on NATO to let me have a little bit of uh leeway in terms of being places and helping, some of it may be fee for service. I don't know. Just because I don't think they have unlimited travel money, but yeah, if there are ways I can be helpful even in person and we can work it out, I'm more than happy to do it. I mean, I do that in my consulting world all the time, is go out and do things like this. So yeah, if there are ways we can make that happen, I'm more than happy to think about it, in any of those places. Edwin, I'm in Florida, visiting my in-laws every so often. So, you know, if there are ways I can support you while I'm in the area, you know, let me know. But yes,
I will.
yeah. Yeah, and thank you, Cassidy. I appreciate that. It's really, I would love to, you know, see how it works in Alaska. And I know there are so many, you know, infrastructural, you know, and space challenges in Alaska, but there's something there. I mean, actually, Vermont is, and I'm sure a lot of our places are dealing with a lot of the same issues, of like out migration and, you know, kids not coming back. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's compounded in Alaska just by, you know, the remoteness, but yeah, those are issues I think I hear about all the time, clearly at different scales than you're talking about, but yeah. All right. Thanks for that. That's what I've got. It was lovely to see you guys. I'm really excited to hear about your next steps, and I do want to support them in any way I can, so let me know. And I'll send that assessment, if I've a few more things going on, but you will get it in the next day or so. And I would love if you filled it out. It shouldn't take very long. And yeah, thanks again for being my guinea pigs on this journey. I really appreciate it. And I do appreciate your feedback too. And I will definitely think about ways to have those assignments be more actionable and more collaborative. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Well, have a great rest of your day and your week, and I'll be in touch.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
Thank
much.
you.
Nice meeting
everybody.
everyone.
Yes. Good working with you.